I had asked Gemini Flash Pro 2.0, Flash Pro, something like that, questions this morning, and all of a sudden it gave me a dialogue stating that I had reached my limit and to try the paid option. So I hesitated for a little while, and then I thought, let me try the 2.0 Flash, not Pro, experimental. It's all experimental, but... And then I asked it this question, is there an experimental limit on the 2.0 Flash? Because when you click them up at the top, there's like a little drop down arrow on, I'm not going to show you my full screen, but right here next to it there'll be like a little arrow pointing down, and you click it and it will look, you can look for my screen taps. Okay, I'm tapping where the arrow would be. You click that and it'll drop down the different options that you can have. Some are free, and I think it also supplies a paid link. You just click on them and choose the one you want to use. So anyway, here is its answer. This is a long-winded answer. I'm not going to play it, but this is what it is. You can pause the video to look at it in more detail. So I'm just going to scroll so you can pause the video in portions. There are these links. Make sure I got the one at the top. Okay. And I asked it then, could you express that in layman's terms? This one I'll play for you.
Think of it like this. Gemini 2.0 Flash is still in a testing phase, like a brand new gadget that hasn't been fully released yet. Because it's experimental, there are some rules in place to make sure everyone gets a fair chance to try it out and to prevent any hiccups. These rules are mostly about how often and how much you can ask it to do things. Requests per minute, RPM. Imagine you're in line for a popular ride at an amusement park. This rule says you can only get on the ride, make a request, a certain number of times each minute, 10 times for the regular text version, also 10 times for the image generation version. Tokens per minute, TPM. Think of tokens as words or pieces of information you send to Gemini or receive back. This rule limits the total amount of information, like the length of your questions and its answers, that can be processed each minute. 1 million for text, 200,000 for images. It's like there's a limit on how much you can talk in a minute. Requests per day, RPD. This is like a daily limit on how many times you can get on that amusement park ride. 1,000 times for text, 100 times for images. So basically, these limits are there to prevent one person from hogging all the resources and slowing things down for everyone else who's trying out this experimental Gemini. Besides these how often rules, there are also some what it can do limitations. How much you can ask at once. You can give it a lot of information at once, up to about 1 million words worth in its special flash thinking mode, and it can give you back quite a bit too, up to 64,000 words in flash thinking. What kind of answers it gives? For the main flash thinking mode, it mostly gives you text answers. However, there's a special experimental version that can also create images. How up to date its knowledge is. It's like its brain was last updated around June 2024, so it might not know about things that have happened since then and could guess wrong about recent events. It's not perfect yet. Because it's experimental, it might not always work perfectly, and the people who made it might stop supporting this test version at any time. Think of these limits as temporary rules while the developers are still testing and improving Gemini 2.0 Flash. If you try to do too much too quickly, it might tell you to slow down. It's best to check the official instructions to know the exact current limits.
So what I thought was interesting in its first response was that there is a cutoff. The the flash thinking experimental cutoff is in June 2024. Well, that was, I don't know what use that information is because it was 2024 and it's now 2025, but I'm wondering, is there a cutoff limit for the total amount a user has, or does it keep regenerating every so often? So I'm going to ask it that. So is there a cutoff limit for a user, like an ultimate cutoff limit? Once they use it up, they don't have any more and they have to begin paying at some point? Or is it going to be available with refreshed rates?
You're asking about whether there's an ultimate limit for using Gemini 2.0 Flash that would require you to start paying, or if the limits simply refresh over time. Here's the breakdown in simpler terms. Yes, there are cutoff limits for the free, experimental use of Gemini 2.0 Flash. These limits are in place to manage resources and allow many users to try the model. However, these are generally refreshed limits, not an ultimate one-time limit that then requires immediate payment. Think of it like a daily or per-minute allowance. Once you hit the limit for that period, you usually have to wait for the counter to reset. Here's what you need to understand. Free tier with rate limits. Google offers a free tier for the Gemini API, including experimental models like Gemini 2.0 Flash. This free tier comes with specific rate limits. These limits dictate how many requests you can make per minute, RPM, and per day, RPD, as well as the total amount of information tokens you can process per minute, TPM. For example, the experimental Gemini 2.0 Flash has had limits like 10 requests per minute and 1,000 requests per day. These specific numbers can change, so it's crucial to check the latest documentation. Refresh limits. These rate limits typically reset after a certain period, e.g., per minute or per day. So if you hit your daily limit, you'll usually be able to use it again the next day when your allowance refreshes. Moving beyond free limits. If you consistently exceed the free tier limits or need higher usage, Google offers paid tiers with significantly higher rate limits and potentially additional features. Google AI Studio, using Gemini 2.0 Flash within Google AI Studio, is generally free in all available countries within the given rate limits. This is a platform designed for developers to experiment with AI models. Vertex AI. For more production-ready applications and higher usage, you would typically use the Gemini models through Google Cloud's Vertex AI platform, which has its own pricing structure based on usage. In short, you won't hit a permanent, you can't use it anymore wall with the experimental free tier. Instead, you'll encounter temporary limits, rate limits, that refresh. If your usage needs exceed these refresh limits, you would then need to consider moving to a paid tier on the Gemini API or Vertex AI. To know the exact and most up-to-date rate limits for the specific version of Gemini 2.0 Flash you are using, it's best to consult the official Google AI for Developers documentation or the Google Cloud Vertex AI documentation. These documents will provide the most accurate details on the free tier limits and paid options.
So when you click on the Gemini app, you'll see this is the main one. When you download the app, it's the 2.0 Flash, and there's the little arrow right there that you can click on. And here's what the drop down will give you. So I was using the 2.5 Pro experimental when I ran out, and I thought, okay, I can't use it anymore because it gave me this screen, this pop-up. I'll show you. It said to continue with Gemini Advance. I've reached the limit. I have to until tomorrow, and I have to pay for use of higher limits. It offers you to try it now. So I clicked on that drop down menu on the first screen when you click the app, and this is what it gave me. So I was like, okay, I've been using the Pro, but let me see if 2.0 will work and I'll still be able to continue to have AI for the day. And sure enough, it worked. So my point is, think outside the box while something tells you you are limited or restricted or whatever, just check out other options. You never know what you might get. I mean, if it says no, it says no. But in my case, I tried a different feature, and it wasn't it was compartmentalized, so it wasn't an all-together thing. It lets you use each individual one with its each individual limits. So that's cool. It works out. But I hope this video helps you to understand how AI works. You can even click on down here on the Gemini Advanced link, and it'll tell you the pricing, so you can figure that one out. I might see if I can show you that. Hold on. So here is the upgrade plan. It's $19.99 a month for May 2025. And what you get, and that's pretty much it. I guess once you're into that, you can opt for more advanced plans. I'm not going to start any trial because I tend to forget, and then I get charged unexpectedly because I didn't remember. So I hope this helps you understanding AI usage limits and pricing for the advanced. I know there are different tiers of advanced, and like it said, it charges you on, they have a plan that charges you on your usage. I did check into it once with a different link that wasn't provided right here, but it was just way out of my price range. I just cannot afford to do that. But I can do a workaround. So where I was using the 2.5 Flash Pro and it ran out, I went to the 2.0 Flash, which was the one I started out on, and it still had its own compartmentalized limits. It wasn't all cumulative for all of the different types. So think outside the box. That's all I can tell you. I hope this really helped you, and that's it.